Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam IATM di hatiku, salam dari Campus Tanah Serendah Sekebun Bunga. Championing Entrepreneurship, Empowering Community. Good morning everyone, thank you for joining us. Today, my name is Siti Nur Syairah and I'll be your host for this forum. Our discussion today centers around public finance in Malaysia. The government plays a key role in managing the economy and ensuring citizens' well-being. Its main responsibilities include providing public goods like infrastructure, education and healthcare, stabilizing the economy through fiscal and monetary policies, and fostering fair competition. The government also reduces inequality via progressive taxation and social welfare while ensuring security and justice. Monetary policy, managed by central bank, is a primary tool to control inflation and unemployment by adjusting interest rates and reserve requirements, supporting economic growth and stability. Let's move on by hearing Mr. Amir to explain about monetary policies.
Thank you, Moderator. Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) as the central bank in Malaysia plays a crucial role in managing the nation's economy through monetary policy. This involves strategically influencing the money supply and credit conditions to achieve two primary objectives. The first one is maintaining price stability by controlling the inflation and fostering sustainable economic growth by promoting full employment. This dual mandate requires BNM to carefully balance these sometimes conflicting goals. Monetary policy in Malaysia operates through two main approaches, expansionary and contractionary. Expansionary monetary policy is implemented during periods of economic slowdown, recession, or high of unemployment. Its aim to inject more money into the economy, encouraging borrowing, investment, and spending, thereby money into the economy. Encouraging borrowing, investment and spending, thereby stimulating economic activity. Conversely, contractionary monetary policy is employed when the economy is experiencing rapid inflation. By reducing the money supply, this policy aims to curb excessive spending and bring prices back to a stable level. To achieve this objective, BNM utilizes a range of instruments broadly categorized as quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative instruments directly impact the quantity of money circulating in the economy. Open market operations (OMO) are a key tool involving BNM buying or selling government securities in the open market. When BNM buys securities, it injects money into the banking system, increasing reserve and lending capacity. Conversely, selling securities withdraws money from the system, reducing reserve and lending. The statutory reserve requirement, SRR, also known as the legal cash reserve requirement, mandates the minimum percentage of deposits that commercial banks must hold in reserve with BNM. Increasing the SRR reduces the amount of money banks have available for lending, thus decreasing the money supply. Decreasing the SRR has the opposite effect. Increasing lending capacity and money supply, the overnight policy rate (OPR) is the primary policy rate in Malaysia. It represents the interest rate at which commercial banks lend and borrow funds overnight among themselves. Changes in the OPR influence borrowing costs for banks, which are then passed on to businesses and consumers through lending rates. Increasing the OPR makes borrowing more expensive, dampening economic activity, while decreasing the OPR makes borrowing cheaper, stimulating economic activity. That's all from me. Let's hear from my colleagues.
Next, I will pass to Mr. Iman to explain about impact of monetary policies.
Okay, thank you, moderator. So right now we move to impact of monetary policy. In Malaysia, monetary policy is mainly directed by Bank Negara Malaysia. Bank Negara Malaysia guide the interest rate, money supply and exchange rate which determine economic growth. The mechanism of monetary policy in Malaysia consists of the following elements. For the first element is interest rate, overnight policy rate (OPR). For impact on investment and consumption, lower interest can spur economic growth since it will be cheaper to borrow for business and consumer. It encourages investment in infrastructure, machinery and housing and raise consumption since people have a great tendency to borrow and spend. For example, OPR Malaysia in 2024 is 3% compared to OPR in 2023 is 3.25%. This means the purchasing power in 2024 is higher than 2023. For inflation, a reduction in the rate of interest can also give way to inflationary tendency in case the demand increases too rapidly without a massive improvement in the supply. For the second element is money supply. For liquidity in the economy and increased money supply by Bank Negara Malaysia through open market operation, for example, may inject liquidity into the banking system, promoting lending and investment, hence fostering economic growth. For credit availability, a higher money supply usually lowers borrowing costs, making credit more accessible to business and consumer. For the last element is exchange rate policy. For impact on export, a depreciated ringgit can make Malaysia export cheaper, boosting export demand. It can thus translate into faster economic growth, at least in the manufacturing export-oriented sector of the economy. For example, ringgit value at 2022 between 4.2 to 4.5 compared to 2023 ringgit at 4.3 to 4.7. For import inflation, a weaker currency would raise the price of import goods and raw material, adding to inflation. So that's all from me. I will move to moderator.
Let's hear explanation by Mr. Zaidi about fiscal policies and their impacts.
Thank you to our moderator. Next, fiscal policy is the use of government spending and taxation to influence the economy. Government typically use fiscal policy to promote strong and sustainable growth and reduce the poverty. The role and objective of fiscal policy gained prominence during the recent global crisis when government stepped in to support financial system, jumpstart growth and mitigate the impact of the crisis on vulnerable groups. Fiscal policy also divided into two types. The first type is expansionary fiscal policy. Expansionary fiscal policy refers to the increase in aggregate spending in order to increase the disposable income. The other than that is contractionary fiscal policy, which is the reduction of aggregate spending to lower down the growth. The use of government taxation and expenditure to influence the country's spending, employment and price levels. Expansionary fiscal policy are used to overcome unemployment or recession problems. Government will increase public spending to engage with public work programs and reduce the tax. Government also cut the tax to increase disposable income of individuals from. Next, contractionary fiscal policy are used to overcome the inflation. Government will create budget surplus to reduce aggregate spending by increasing taxes and reduce government spending. From this step on, the aggregate demand will shift to the left. That's for the fiscal policy, and then I will move on to the impact of fiscal policy. As we know, fiscal policy in Malaysia refers to the government decision on public spending, taxation and borrowing. Budgetary decision by the government can fuel or throttle the economic growth. The first one is government spending. For public infrastructure, it will increase the government expenditure on infrastructure such as transportation, energy and healthcare will lead to contribution to economic growth through job creation, higher productivity and private investment. For social welfare programs, an increase in social welfare programs could further facilitate the consumption and reduce inequality, possibly stimulating growth via a boost in aggregate demand. The second one is taxation. For tax cuts, it will lower personal and corporate income taxes, give consumer and businesses more disposable income to use towards ramping up current consumption and investment. For tax incentive to business, tax incentive including deduction of credit for research and development, increase innovation and investment in fields such as technology, green energy and manufacturing. And for the last one is public debt and deficit. For government borrowing to finance a budget deficit can stimulate short-run economic activity. However, excessive borrowing could lead to higher interest rate and crowd out private investment. Eventually, it will increase the rate of inflation. And for the sustainability concern, unsustainable high level of public debt could therefore reduce the capacity of the government to respond effectively in future economic downturn and may result in perceived unsustainability, leading to a loss of economic confidence among investors. That's all for impact of fiscal policy.
Thank you for our panel and their explanation about monetary and fiscal policy. In conclusion, the government plays a vital role in ensuring economic stability and the well-being through the effective implementation of monetary and fiscal policies. The ability to control inflation, reduce unemployment, and promote economic growth requires a strategic approach and collaboration among relevant agencies. By maintaining a balance between these two policies, the government can achieve sustainable economic development, reduce social inequality, and enhance the quality of life for its people. It is a shared responsibility to support the government's effort in achieving economic stability and societal well-being.